You know what's funny? Like, honest to God funny. It's common in many fandom circles for fans to hate the idea of rebooting or retconning their universes. And if there's one fandom I see people hate the idea the most in, it's Stargate. There's always been rumors that Stargate is going to be rebooted into a movie franchise again, wiping away over a decades-long universe that SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe worked to establish. Now, I have listened to some who've argued for a reboot, and honestly, I think they make some good points. Fixing how OP Earth is at the end of Universe is a good example. However, many more have told me they hate the idea, and honestly, I don't blame them. Like I said, wiping away a decade's worth of storytelling in favor of just starting back from square one, especially since most of the time when something like this happens, they just reuse ideas from the original canon, but worse. It's a fear that many Stargate fans have had to deal with for some time since Stargate has been off our screens for so long. But remember the funny thing I said? Well, the funny thing is, this already happened in Stargate.
What?
Stargate originally started out as a movie and later got a TV show continuation. And in case you didn't catch my use of air quotes, there are a lot of differences between the two when it comes to world building. Just some quick examples: in the movie, the Stargate takes our heroes to Abydos, which is in another galaxy, versus SG-1 where they change it to be one of the closest planets to Earth. In the movie, Ra was the last of his kind and looked like a gray alien. In SG-1, there are plenty of ghouls running around, and they even changed to being these snake parasites, while the gray aliens are now the Asgard, one of Earth's closest allies. There are plenty of other differences between the two, but yeah, you could consider the movie to be set in an entirely different universe if you wanted. Again, it's kind of funny that current SG fans hate the idea of a reboot, but that's really what SG-1 and the later shows are, a reboot. Now I can hear you ask, so what? It was only one movie and SG-1 clearly was the more popular of the two. Can there really be a fully fledged universe with only one movie? Well, A, yes, and B, also yes. See, keep in mind, the movie came out in 1994 and SG-1 came out in 1997. Why does this 3-year difference matter? Because in those 3 years, there was a Stargate book series written by Bill McKay based on the backstory notes for the movie and continued the universe set up in the movie. Heck, the final book in the series came out in 1999, so the universe did continue even after SG-1 had been on air for 2 years. I should also note there was a comic adaptation of the first book made by Entity Comics, who went on to write their own Stargate comics based on the movie that continued until 1997. I'll cover these comics someday, maybe next year, but for this year, in honor of the Stargate movie's 29th birthday, let's take a look at the Stargate universe that once was. A quick disclaimer, I actually didn't have time to read the books, so all information I'm going to say comes from fandom. So if I miss any details or something, that's why. Also, I'm not very good with names, so I might mispronounce some people's names. Am I doing it on purpose for comedy, or just genuinely mispronouncing it? You make the call. One year after Ra's death, the US begins sending forces through the gate to begin mining a quartz-like mineral. While never getting a name, odds are this was Naquadah, and is what inspired the use of said mineral in the shows. At first, a deal had been made with the Abydonians so they would mine the ore in exchange for money and modern conveniences. Unfortunately, the guy running the operation, Eugene Lockwood, had a tough business style that caused tension with Daniel and the other Abydonians, especially when Lockwood and his men started to refer to them as Abydabbas. Jack and some others begin training the Abydosians in more formal military exercises, and in response, Lockwood calls in Brigadier General Francis Keogh, who stops the exercises and brings in more troops, along with some helicopters and tanks. Eventually, Lockwood has the troops restrict access to the mining camp, but when a worker dies as a result, Daniel leads the others in a worker strike. One of the men who helped negotiate the original deal, Walter Darren, returns to renegotiate. But turns out he wants to overthrow the Abydonian elders and tries to ask Skara to help him do this, not knowing that Skara's father is one of the elders. So he refuses and threatens him with an energy lance. Upon learning the poor how to advance energy weapons, the general sends O'Neill to demand that they surrender. While O'Neill's meeting with them, the general decides to launch an invasion of the city.
America.
But then Hathor shows up. So while all this has been going on another planet called Tuat, Ra's lieutenants have been fighting for power, and Thoth revives Hathor, who was in stasis for 8,000 years. Keep in mind, Ra was the last of his kind in the movie, so all these gods who have been fighting are not Goa'uld. They're merely humans who have been enhanced and were the basis for Earth's myths. She managed to beat all the other contenders for the throne and convinces her former husband, only Kane Chronicles fans will get that joke, to rebuild her space fleet for her. Once she finishes off her opponents, she decides to head to Abydos to find out what happened to Ra, which leads us back to now. Hathor's forces deduce that the humans with advanced tech are from Earth and were the ones who killed Ra, so they destroy all the helicopters and most of the tanks, conveniently killing off all the bad humans from Earth who were causing problems in the first place. Hathor's ship lands, cutting off the remaining Earth forces from the Stargate, and sends some troops through the gate to Earth. A battle takes place at the Creek Mountain base, because remember, that's where the Stargate is set in the movie universe. While the US forces are able to push Hathor's guards back, both sides took heavy casualties. Jack, Daniel, and Kowalski meet up with the remaining forces and launch an attack on Hathor's ship. She is forced to escape to a matter transporter through the Stargate, but not before she sees Daniel. The book ends with Jack returning to Earth to report they have successfully captured an alien ship. Book 2 opens with 3 Horse guards exiting the Stargate, killing the guards and escaping into the city. Earth sends a general to renegotiate a new deal to continue mining the quartz-like substance. A new deal is reached, but there are other problems on Abydos. The introduction of a coin currency is creating problems in their barter-based economy, specifically as some residents are buying large amounts of food and selling them at inflated prices. This has caused a rise in tension between the farming communities and the main city. There's also the issue that a black market has formed, stealing weapons and selling them to raiders who attack caravans. Daniel has organized English classes with his wife Sharai, but he meets an attractive student named Faiza, who captures Daniel's attention and even tries to seduce him. This causes tension in the marriage. He's also given the Ra medallion from a scientist who came over to study Hathor's ship. The medallion was a gift from Catherine Langford, who recruited Daniel into the Stargate program. O'Neill is trying to deal with the rising violence and arranges for armored vehicles to patrol the desert for raiders. One of these patrols actually saves Daniel and Faiza when they were traveling back from a farming community. Unfortunately, Daniel takes his frustration out on his father-in-law Kasuf, embarrassing him in public over the state of Abydos. Sharai, none too pleased with her husband's actions, along with his flirtations with Faiza, decides to leave him. Daniel realizes his mistake and apologizes to his father-in-law, even helping to arrange a meeting between Kasuf and the leader of the farming communities, Nakir, about easing tensions and forming a new government. However, at the summit, an assassin shoots both men with a pistol, killing Nakir and putting Kasuf in a coma. One of the guards saw the assassin had blonde hair and concluded it must be Daniel. Daniel, who was unaware any of this went down, is met by Faiza, who informs him of the situation and takes him to a hideout, where she tries to seduce him again until she sees the medallion and knocks him out. Meanwhile, at the Stargate, an army of horse guards come pouring out and take control of the pyramid, with Jack and company being forced out into the desert. Daniel wakes up a prisoner and Faiza reveals the truth. She is really Hathor and tells him that the medallion was a key of Ra's that activates the Stargate to a secret location. They did this and traveled to this secret location, but right after, the remaining US forces are able to retake the pyramid. Skara tracked the assassin to the hideout where he finds evidence that Daniel had been unfaithful to Sharai and tells his sister. Meanwhile, Daniel and Hathor find themselves on a very big ship called Boat of a Million Years, which is not only a cool as hell name, But they also learn a few things. First, they learn that Ra's pyramid ship from the movie was a lifeboat for this ship once. Second is that there are aliens sleeping in stasis on the ship. This race, called the Setem, are a red-furred, coyote-like race that Hathor believes she had exterminated 8,000 years ago. Daniel thinks they may have inspired the fictitious animal that represents Set. But the biggest thing they learn is that the ship is very powerful, and not only is it near Abydos, but with its hyperdrive, it could reach Earth in about a year. While Hathor tries to learn how to operate it, Daniel sneaks away and uses the Stargate to get back to Abydos. When he arrives, he tries to warn everyone, but remember, everyone thinks he's a murderer and that he has been cheating on his wife, so O'Neill locks him up. However, one of the scientists on Hathor's captured ship sees her coming, so she sets Daniel free and warns O'Neill. Hathor uses the ship's weapons to destroy all the armored units and air defenses around the mines. She then orders her horse guards to round up all the people on Abydos and has them start mining as much of the quartz as they can. Daniel makes his way back to the city and speaks with Skara, and honestly, I'm a little confused here. Okay, so again, I'm using fandom to summarize this story, but here it says Skara believes Daniel is innocent of the attack, but when Daniel tries to explain Hathor's power, Skara is prepared to fight? And when the two go to see Kasuf, he reveals that it was a horse guard in a wig who was the assassin, vindicating Daniel. This just seems weird, like it was supposed to say Skara doesn't believe Daniel, and it was only Kasuf that proved his innocence? Anyway, then Daniel finds Sharai and tries to reconcile with her, but she doesn't want to hear it. That is until Daniel explains that once Hathor gets all the quartz, she's going to destroy Abydos, and that her people's only hope is to evacuate to Earth, to which she reluctantly agrees. Daniel, Sharai, and Skara lead an attack on the mines as a distraction. While this is happening, Jack is evacuating his own personnel and lets the refugees through. But when he learns what is going on, he takes what he can so he can go and rescue Daniel. A lot of fighting and heroic rescues happen, ending with our heroes escaping through the Stargate. However, as our heroes escape, an energy blast strikes the Stargate, which causes a chain reaction that destroys the surface of the entire planet. Book 3 starts with a flashback to Ra looking for a way to extend his life. He encounters the Setem, whose world was on the edge of disaster. Ra said if they agreed to serve him, he would help them find a new world. They agreed and would travel to Ra to Earth, helping to build his empire. Eventually, they wanted Ra to make good on his promise, so he gave them a new world to settle, along with his own forces who were there to guard them. Eventually, they rebelled and Hathor wiped them out, the only survivors being the ones on the ship in stasis from the last book, with no knowledge of what happened. We cut back to Creek Mountain where the Abydonians are now living in confined quarters. Daniel arranges for them to have a walk outside with their animals under the pretense of getting some fresh air. In reality, it was so he could film them and release it to the public. Yep, now the whole world knows about the Stargate. Daniel warns that Hathor is coming, and with the support of O'Neill and General West, the US organizes an international cooperative effort to stop Hathor. They begin to retrofit all the satellites, space stations, and shuttles they have with advanced technology.
These shuttles, they are a formidable craft. Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, with Hathor, she finds she needs to wake the Setem in order to make sure the ship is ready to conquer Earth. So she restricts any information the Setem can access, such as the fact that she wiped out the rest of their race, and tells them that Earth is in rebellion against Ra and needs to be put down. Most comply with this, but one named Nekti, whose father led his people before, is suspicious, and once he learns of the restricted info, his suspicion grows. Back on Earth, the Abydonians are now integrating into the general public. Daniel and Skara set up a foundation to help them find employment. But they're having trouble adjusting to American society, and many Americans treat them with hostility, America joke. With their new defenses for Earth, they are about to send up a space shuttle retrofitted with advanced tech. But then it gets shot down. Turns out the Setem placed an artificial intelligence named Central Command on Earth all those thousands of years ago. When it detected the launch, it thought it was one of Ra's ships. They track it down to Saudi Arabia and with the help of the Abydonians uncover the core, but are attacked by local extremists. Jack and the Marines put down the extremists with the use of a space shuttle.
Yeah.
Daniel and Sharai make contact with the core and explain the situation. Hathor enters the system and the US Space Command launches its defenses, having their satellites and shuttles launch nuclear missiles, which don't do much due to the shield and point defense weapons of the ship. When they switch to using energy weapons, they do more damage, but not enough to stop the ship. Central Command is able to deal a lot more damage to the ship, but Nekti, who is suspicious that Earth has sophisticated tech all of a sudden, because he still thinks Earth is in the BC era, contacts the planet to find any Satem. His signal causes Central Command to stop firing, since its program won't let it harm any Satem. With their best weapon gone, our heroes decide to try a plan that worked before, using the Stargate to smuggle a bomb on the ship and blow it to hell. Daniel volunteers to join the team for the mission and reconciles with Sharai before leaving. Our heroes board the ship, where they are spotted by a Satem engineer on their way to the library where they were to plant the bomb. The bomb was damaged in the fight with Satem soldiers, and Daniel was separated from the group. He meets Nekti and explains to him about Earth, the Satem genocide, and that Ra is dead. Nekti is reluctant at first, so Daniel takes him to the library where O'Neill and the rest of the team are waiting. Daniel bypasses Hathor's block and shows Nekti the truth. Enraged, Nekti agrees to help them in exchange for safe passage to Earth. He mobilizes his people to sabotage the ship's engines and make their way to the Stargate. But before they leave, Daniel finds a massive list of Stargate addresses and takes it with him. Hathor finds out about the intruders and what their plans are, so she rallies the Satem still loyal to her and rushes to the Stargate. Nekti was killed by Khonshu, but not before he sent out the info about what happened to their race to every console on the ship. O'Neill fights Khonshu, giving Daniel an opening to shoot him. When the team reaches the Stargate, they find Hathor with her Satem guards waiting for them. But the Satem shoot her when they see Nekti's message. Daniel offers to take her to Earth to get help, because no matter what continuity, Daniel is still a bleeding heart fool, but she refuses. Our heroes and company escape through the Stargate, and the boat of a million years burns up in the atmosphere. We end with Daniel and O'Neill wondering what the new Stargate addresses will mean for the future of Earth and her new alien refugees. After Hathor's defeat, Daniel's been sorting through the addresses he got from the ship. He finds a planet called Ballast that he believes to be a good spot for the Abydonians to resettle on. O'Neill leads a team to scout out the planet for colonization. They find a pyramid more or less intact, along with the bones of an animal they assume was killed by a predator. Which, in hindsight, they were kind of right. Outside, they find a lush valley surrounded by mountains. They return to Earth and hold a press conference. While O'Neill and his Marines give guarded responses, the Abydonian who went with them says the planet is safe and the Abydonians should relocate to the planet as soon as possible. Not only does this spark the Abydonians to insist they be allowed to leave and resettle on the planet, but the general public as well. Daniel and the leaders of the Abydonians are caught off guard by this outcry and hastily gather supplies for the expedition. Within a few months, the Abydonians, our heroes, and several Marines head through the gate to set up camp on Ballast. Unfortunately, morale in the camp drops quickly. Turns out many Abydonians grew comfortable living in 20th century lodgings, are now frustrated and having to rough it. Others feel resentment at the presence of O'Neill and his Marines, who they feel are policing them, as well as restricting their access to the Stargate. Most of the blame falls on Daniel, who is somehow accused of doing too much and not enough. Most of this comes from the Abydonian, who is part of the original scout team for the planet, named Ima Seba, who hopes to replace Kasuf and the other elders. There's also some evidence of a large feline predator in the area that the Marines call the Hudat, but they are unable to find it. Several months later, Ismabella makes his move. He and his cohorts plan to blow up the Stargate, cutting them off from Earth, kill all the Marines, and take over the settlement. We'll just ignore the fact that last time the gate was damaged, it caused the literal death of their old world, but people like this usually never think these things through. He comes to O'Neill and insists that his militia be allowed to guard the gate, and in a gesture of trust, O'Neill agrees. That night, they plant C4 on the gate, but before they can detonate it, a large bipedal saber-toothed cat-like creature attacks them. Some members of the militia are killed, but enough survive to give the creature chase, though it ultimately escapes. The finding attracted the attention of the Marines who arrived to stop Ismabella's plan. He's put under house arrest, and hunting parties are sent out to find the Hudat. A group of Marines find a ruined building. In it, they find a museum that depicts lizards enslaving the cat creatures. But before they can learn more, they're attacked by a group of Hudats, wielding blast lances. All the other hunting parties are ambushed by the Hudats, who are now wearing full body armor. Said armor is not only bulletproof, but also enhances their strength and speed. All remaining Marines and the militia rally to the gate, and using Earth's energy weapons and small artillery, they manage to kill most of the Hudats. Which by this point the Marines have dubbed them the... Well, I can't risk saying the word because YouTube might think I'm talking about the other thing, so I'll just show it on screen. During the battle, a few Hudats sneak past the perimeter and manage to get through the gate, destroying the portable dialing computer on their way out. When the US government hears about the attack, they order O'Neill and the Marines to leave, planning to leave the Abydonians defenseless. However, O'Neill points out that the Hudats had access to the dialing computer before they left and could potentially know the location of Earth. The military is convinced to throw their support behind the defense of Ballast against a possible counterattack to prevent the Hudats from using it as a beachhead. And they really get into it, sending helicopters, tanks, and small artillery through the gate. Wait a minute, this sounds kind of familiar. However, at some point Earth finds they can no longer dial Ballast, meaning the Hudats have launched their attack, and they can't help. The book opens with some lore about the Hudats. Once there was a race of technologically advanced lizards who ruled the cosmos. They built great machines such as spacecraft and the Stargates. They were known as the predecessors. They were in need of servants, so they bred and genetically altered a race of bipedal cats. Using brain modification technology, they trained them to fight for and to serve them. Over time, the predecessors died out, all save one, Ra. The cats took over the predecessors' empire using the technology left behind to try and rebuild the dominion of their former masters, taking the name the Successors. Back to the present, the Successors attack Ballast, led by a director Marok and a warrior named Sekhmet. They slowly take control of the planet and drive out the humans. They also attack and kill a group of children who were to be evacuated through the gate.
Dude, you guys are some cold mother.
O'Neill tries to rally the troops, but his forces are scattered. The helicopters were able to inflict early casualties before they were taken out. The remaining forces retreat to the predecessor building with the museum from the last book and begin fortifying it. Daniel and several others are cut off from the base camp and are forced to retreat in the opposite direction, having to set up a makeshift camp. At the pyramid, one of the Marines detonates the C4 left behind, burying the Stargate under rubble and trapping both groups on Ballast. The director sends his troops to make repeated attempts to storm O'Neill's stronghold, but the tanks and artillery are able to keep them at bay. Daniel and his group have to send out small parties to steal food and whatever supplies they can find from the abandoned base camp. During one trip, Daniel notes the Successors appear to be hunting for food, which suggests that their supplies are running low, something O'Neill is also worried about for his own men. Meanwhile, Earth has been trying to re-establish contact with Ballast. With the help of the Satem and Central Command, they find a way to send transmissions through the gate by making a new component. Back on Ballast, Daniel's group makes an interesting discovery. After killing a Successor officer, they find the remaining fighters don't know what to do and are easily killed. While an interesting discovery, this likely means the Successors know their location now. So Daniel and a guy named Ferret, I can't remember if he was important in the early books, sneak out to try and meet up with O'Neill. Speaking of O'Neill, he assigned some of the Abydonians to look through some of the leftover predecessor tech to find anything useful. They find what they believe to be a portable matter transporter, but another device activates and it's revealed to be a communicator. It was activated by Earth, who are using the Stargate to make contact. At the same time, Daniel's group arrives and reports what they discovered to O'Neill. We see the successor's point of view, and it's not going well. The director has become extremely frustrated with the constant defeat, so he orders an all-out attack on the humans. O'Neill's forces engage the successors, and he uses the matter transporter to beam many of them into space. He pulls a bit of trickery on them, allowing the successor forces into the base before destroying it.
7, 6, 5.
Get out! Get out of there!
Using the intel he got from Daniel, he has his artillery target the successor officers. All these efforts and plans lead to the complete collapse of the enemy attack, and with the advantage, they retake the pyramid. With the humans on the attack, the director plans to order all his troops to engage in a suicidal counterattack. Sekhmet realizes her leader is acting like a daft cunt, so she kills him and takes command to surrender. The book ends with O'Neill, Daniel, and Sharai wondering what will happen next. And what happens next?
Fuck you!
You know, it's kind of funny that both the movie's canon and the show's canon kind of end in the same place, right? Like, both conclude with this open ending with a promise of more stories to tell later, and it never happens. And just something weird I noticed is that the final book came out in 1999, and 12 years later, in 2011, Stargate Universe would be canceled. And since then, we haven't had Stargate on our screens, no, I will not count Origins. But the year I released this video, 2023, is 12 years after Universe ended.
There are no accidents.
Anyway, that was the story of Stargate's original canon. How was it? Well, I can't say it would have been better than the shows. Partly because, as I said before, I didn't read the books and just read the wiki for the overall story and lore. But even with that, I don't really think one can compare the two canons. See, it's easy to compare, say, Disney Star Wars versus Legends Star Wars, as Disney will often take ideas or concepts from Legends and bring it into their own canon. So it's easy to compare and contrast the two. But with the two SG canons, it's more like classic Battlestar Galactica versus the reboot, where you really can't compare the two because both are set out to do different things. You might like one over another or appreciate both, but there's no real way to say one is better than the other. Though I do think there is something interesting about the story in the books, at least in its format. As I said earlier, there have always been these rumors that they are going to reboot Stargate and try and turn it back into a movie franchise. For the most part, from what I understand, that's all these are, just rumors. And if there were attempts to do this, it never got off the ground. And while I am against the idea of a reboot, I do think the story of the books would work as a movie franchise or even TV show. The story told in the books seemed to be very serialized, where each part of the story matters to the overall plot. Which makes sense since, they're books. They can't have a chapter where the characters go off and have some random adventure just to come back to the main story. This is in contrast to SG-1 and Atlantis, which while yes, both did have an overarching story or storylines, they also had an episodic nature to them. In fact, at the time I write this, I just saw an interview that Brad Wright did where he talked about this.
The person who just checks in for one episode deserves a story.
Mm-hmm.
They don't deserve a chapter in a book. They deserve a story. Like if you miss an episode of whatever, you deserve to sit down and have something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this is the story. Does it tie into the larger arc? Hopefully, maybe absolutely. But I think it's important. I think it's very important that the constant viewer get rewarded with a large arc, and the frequent, if not slightly infrequent viewer gets a story when they tune in. I think that's only fair.
Now, I agree with that, but the more serialized storytelling has become very popular in TV shows over the last decade or so. Take something like The Expanse as an example. So while I am against the idea of an SG reboot, I think a show based on the books might be well received by the fan base. It gives those who want a reboot or movie something to work with, but also taps into something from Stargate's past that older and newer fans can appreciate. Kind of similar to what the Kelvin timeline was supposed to be for Star Trek. But what do you think? Do you like the story told in the OG Stargate books? Or do you think the show's universe is still better? Do you think there's any elements from the books that could be brought into the show's canon? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe. And remember,
if you're gonna go ahead with it, I want to make sure you get one thing right. It's O'Neill, with 2 L's. There's another Colonel O'Neill with only 1 L. He has no sense of humor at all.